Hello there, welcome to the Generational Gamer. Today we are going to talk about Ray'z Arcade Chronology. Now, I have previously talked about it in these two videos right here, but today I'm going to show you what the game has to offer. And we're going to go through all three games and their HD counterparts. So before we begin, if you go to the pause menu, which I've been hitting the minus key on the Switch to access, you can see where you can access a quick save, quick load, and it does appear to save across both the HD and the original release. Why no, you are not imagining it. There is no HD version of RayForce. These are the options that are pretty common across all three games, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at the screen itself. You'll notice that by default, these games do not fit to the entire screen. If you do fit to screen, it will fit in the upper and lowermost portions of the screen. You can also rotate. Out of the three games, RayForce is the only one that is in portrait mode. All the other games are in normal landscape, where you've got 4:3 as opposed to a vertical orientation. These are the arcade games, so credits must be applied, unlike its counterpart for the Saturn, which was also released, and I even covered that game, Layer Section in Galactic Attack. But more on that in a bit. Let's take a look at the manual. Each game has its own, and it'll clearly show you how the controls are applied amongst other things. So here you go. Did you really think I was going to saddle you with 5 minutes of manual? Instead, I'm just going to show you the controls here, which are fully adjustable. So, in typical M2 fashion, you have the information on the sides as well as superb emulation. I mean, this game really does play exactly as I remembered it. In fact, I went back and played Galactic Attack once again, and yes, there is a substantial difference. Definitely go with the M2 version over the City Connect version. But why don't I just show you the difference in the games? Because this is based on the arcade, where the City Connection version is based on the Saturn port. So let's do a side-by-side, shall we? Yes. So I'm using the music from the arcade game, and as you can see, other than the Saturn game being zoomed in a bit more, they do look very similar. Now, control-wise, it's not even a close comparison here. The Saturn game does not play as well as the arcade. And now we are back to the M2 game. I've always been a big fan of this game. I've been playing it on the Taito collections for some time now. Anyway, let's move along to the other two games in this collection. Now you can clearly see that RayStorm includes both the original arcade and the HD version. And I'm showing these side by side because you can clearly see a difference. The one on the left is the original, the HD is on the right, and they are so similar that when I talk about one, I can talk about both essentially at the same time. And here is the manual for RayStorm. It's a little bit different than its predecessor, and it's the last one I'm going to show because I don't particularly care for RayCrisis all that much. Just a personal thing. Now let's start with the base RayStorm. We're not going to use the HD just yet. You'll notice that the graphics have already been filled out. That's because I've adjusted the screen to my liking.
August 4th, 2219, Albion D. Enter battle zone at 3,000 feet. Drop to 500 feet.
You know, if you're thinking to yourself, man, does this game look a lot like a PlayStation 1 game? Well, there's good reason for that. There was a PlayStation port of it. Personally, this one's my favorite of the trilogy. Which one do you like the most? If you just noticed the graphics improved dramatically, it's not your imagination. I just switched it over to the HD version. How about we do a side-by-side of these two games? Like I said, they're very similar. But I have to be honest, I prefer playing the HD remake of the game. I think it looks so much better. Okay, let's wrap this up with RayCrisis. Personally, my least favorite of the three. But as you can see, it does include the HD version, but we're going to start with the original. Right from the beginning, you can see many similar gameplay elements, where you've got the two planes, you're firing above, and using your lasers to target everything else around you. Solid gameplay. For whatever reason, I just did not click with this game. Maybe it's the, I don't know, it looks like a hacker-like environment. The whole thing's just kind of weird. But it's all in this collection, and I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about it. Now, how about we move along and compare it to the HD remake? Now with this game, I noticed some substantive differences. I don't remember ever seeing that desert section in the original game, at least not in the first level. The boss on the original game destroyed me. Maybe it's just the way it attacked, but on the HD version I did not have nearly the trouble. I do like the aesthetics of the original one a little bit better, but it is hard to look at some of those polygons today. So I've been playing these games for some time, and I can comfortably say that this is a pretty damn good collection. Now, I did buy it myself. I bought it from PlayAsia, and if you want to get your copy, I'll leave a direct link in the description. I think it's solid. If you can get it in the US, by all means, there is another version of this game coming out. It's basically the same thing, but it does not include RayForce, which to me would be a bit of a travesty. You do not want to miss out on the first of the 3 games, especially when I consider it the second best in the series. If you'd like to see some more comparisons, such as the PS1 versions versus some of these, let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and please hit the subscribe button. Bye-bye.